Welcome to the 2025 CDL Hazardous Materials Practice Test. This test has 60 questions to help you prepare for this test. Before we get started, don't forget to jumpstart that like button to keep this channel running. Now here is your CDL instructor to walk you through the questions.
Question 1. The minimum size of placards is blank A, 8 inches, B, 4 inches, C, 10 and 3/4 inches, D, 7 and 1/2 inches. The correct answer is C, 10 and 3/4 inches. Placards must be 10 and 3/4 inches. If the placard is too large to fit on a hazardous material package, it must be placed on a tag and securely attached to the package. Question 2. What is listed in column 2 of the hazardous materials table? A. What shipping modes the entry affects and shipping description? B. Material hazard class or division. C. Identification number for each shipping name. D. List proper shipping names and descriptions of regulated materials. The correct answer is D. List proper shipping names and descriptions of regulated materials. Column 2 of the hazardous material table is to describe materials and proper shipping names. It lists the hazardous materials description and shipping names of materials that are designated as hazardous. Materials are in alphabetical order, so they can be found quickly. Question 3. Is it accurate that cargo heaters should be disconnected when loading explosives? A. True. B. False. C. Partially true. D. Sometimes true. The correct answer is A. True. Yes, it is true that when loading explosives, cargo heaters should be disconnected. This precaution is taken to eliminate any potential sources of ignition or heat that could lead to an unsafe condition during the loading process. Question 4. How often does a driver's hazmat endorsement need to be renewed? A. Every year. B. Every 3 years. C. Every 5 years. D. Before the expiration of a driver's CDL. The correct answer is D. Before the expiration of a driver's CDL. Drivers will receive a recertification notice approximately 7 months before the expiration of their CDL. Drivers will need to appear at a driver license center and show proof of citizenship or permanent residency, and pass the Hazmat Knowledge Recertification Test. A DL-288 form must be submitted to the driver license center along with required fees. Question 5. While transporting 2,000 pounds of corrosive materials, how many feet from the road can you park for a brief time if work necessitates it? A. 5 feet. B. 100 feet. C. 200 feet. D. 50 feet. The correct answer is A. 5 feet. If your work requires a short stop, you can park within 5 feet of the road while carrying 2,000 pounds of corrosive materials. This limited distance helps maintain safety for both the driver and other road users. Question 6. All except one must be completed for a CDL with hazmat endorsement to be renewed. A. Pass the hazmat recertification knowledge test. B. Complete a state security threat assessment application. C. Pay fingerprint check. D. Submit a renewal application. The correct answer is B. Complete a state security threat assessment application. A federal, not state, security threat assessment application must be completed. Drivers must pass a written test about the regulations and requirements, and a federal threat assessment application to receive clearance from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and the Transportation Security Administration. Question 7. Is it accurate that the power unit of placarded vehicles must be equipped with a fire extinguisher having a UL rating of 10 BC or greater? A. True. B. False. C. Partially true. D. Sometimes true. The correct answer is A. True. Yes, it is true that placarded vehicles' power units must be equipped with a fire extinguisher that has a UL rating of 10 BC or higher. This ensures that the driver is prepared to handle potential fires and emergencies involving hazardous materials during transportation. Question 8. If a diamond-shaped hazard warning label does not fit on a package, the shipper may blank. A. Place the label on the folder containing other shipping information. B. Group multiple packages together with one label. C. Put the label on a tag securely attached to the package. D. Fold the label and secure it with clear shipping tape. The correct answer is C. Put the label on a tag securely attached to the package. Shippers should always place the correct warning labels on hazardous material packages. The most hazardous materials are required to have a diamond-shaped hazard label. If the label is too big for a package and placed on a tag, the shipper must make sure the tag is attached securely. Compressed gas cylinders is an example of a package that would need to have a tagged label. Question 9. When using placard, the driver does not need to know blank. A. Material being shipped. B. Hazard class. C. The manufacture date of the material. D. The amount of all the hazardous material. The correct answer is C. The manufacture date of the material. Regulations state that it is the shipper's responsibility to provide the driver with proper placards. The driver must confirm material being shipped, hazard class, and the amount of hazardous material, but does not need to know the manufacture date of the material being transported. Question 10. What type of fires are BC fire extinguishers designed to combat? A. Electrical fires. B. Flammable liquid fires. C. Class A fires. D. Class C fires. The correct answer is B. Flammable liquid fires. BC fire extinguishers are designed to combat flammable liquid fires. These types of extinguishers are effective against fires involving flammable liquids such as gasoline, oil, grease, and other liquid-based fuels. The BC classification indicates that the fire extinguisher is suitable for use on both Class B fires involving flammable liquids and Class C fires involving energized electrical equipment. However, their primary purpose is to handle flammable liquid fires. Question 11. Is it correct that you are allowed to leave an unattended placarded vehicle if it is located more than 100 feet away from a public road? A. True. B. False. C. Partially true. D. Sometimes true. The correct answer is B. False. No, it is not true that you can leave a placarded vehicle unattended solely based on its distance from a public road. Unattended placarded vehicles pose potential safety risks and must adhere to specific regulations regardless of their distance from a road. Question 12. Who holds the responsibility for verifying the accurate naming, labeling, and marking of a hazmat shipment? A. Receiver. B. Inspector. C. Dispatcher. D. Carrier. The correct answer is D. Carrier. The carrier is tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that the shipper has correctly named, labeled, and marked a hazardous materials shipment. This ensures that the hazardous materials are transported safely and in compliance with regulations. Question 13. What must you inspect the cargo space for before loading or unloading any explosives? A. Loose floorboards or plates. B. Loose clothing. C. Overhead obstacles. D. Cell phone signal strength. The correct answer is A. Loose floorboards or plates. Prior to loading or unloading explosives, it's crucial to inspect the cargo space for loose floorboards or plates. This precaution is necessary to ensure that there are no gaps or openings in the cargo area that could potentially lead to mishandling or unintentional ignition of the explosives, promoting safe handling procedures. Question 14. What type of materials prohibit smoking around any vehicle being loaded or unloaded? A. Inert gases. B. Flammable liquids. C. Corrosive substances. D. Explosives. The correct answer is D. Explosives. Smoking is strictly prohibited around any vehicle being loaded or unloaded with explosives. This measure is essential to prevent the risk of accidental ignition and to maintain a safe environment during the handling of highly sensitive and hazardous explosive materials. Question 15. What are the dimensions of a hazardous materials label? A. 2 inches by 2 inches. B. 3 inches by 3 inches. C. 4 inches by 4 inches. D. 5 inches by 5 inches. The correct answer is B. 3 inches by 3 inches. A hazardous materials label is typically sized at 3 inches by 3 inches. These labels are used to identify and provide essential information about hazardous materials being transported. The standardized size ensures visibility and legibility of the label on packages and containers, making it easier for emergency responders, handlers, and regulatory authorities to identify the type of hazardous material present and take appropriate safety measures. Question 16. When transporting Division 1.1, 1.2, or 1.3 materials, how far away must the vehicle be parked from a bridge or tunnel? A. 300 feet. B. 500 feet. C. 200 feet. D. 100 feet. The correct answer is A. 300 feet. While transporting explosives, stay at least 5 feet away from bridges, tunnels, buildings, groups of people, or open fire. When parking a vehicle with explosives, someone must always watch the vehicle or park in a safe haven. Question 17. How long must a transporter keep hazmat manifest? A. 3 months. B. 1 year. C. 3 years. D. 7 years. The correct answer is C. 3 years. The Hazmat Manifest was established by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and is designed to track hazardous waste from generation to disposal. The designated transporter must keep Hazmat Manifest for a period of 3 years from the date the hazardous waste was accepted by the initial transporter. Question 18. A hazard class name or ID number should not be employed to characterize AN. A. Radioactive material. B. Non-hazardous material. C. Corrosive substance. D. Flammable liquid. The correct answer is B. Non-hazardous material. A hazard class name or ID number should not be utilized to describe a non-hazardous material. These identifiers are meant to specify the type of hazardous properties associated with the substance being transported. Question 19. Regarding hazardous material transportation by a common carrier, who bears the responsibility for packaging, labeling, and preparing the shipping papers? A. The consignee receiving the shipment. B. The driver operating the common carrier vehicle. C. The shipper sending the hazardous material. D. The regulatory authorities overseeing the transportation. The correct answer is C. The shipper sending the hazardous material. The shipper of the hazardous material is responsible for packaging, labeling, and preparing the shipping papers when using a common carrier for transportation. This includes ensuring that the hazardous materials are appropriately packaged, labeled, and accompanied by accurate shipping papers that provide relevant information about the contents and the necessary precautions during transportation. Question 20. Smoking is not allowed near what classes of hazardous materials? A. Class 1. B. Class 4. C. Class 7. D. All classes. The correct answer is D. All classes. Smoking should never occur around any class of hazardous materials. Smoking is especially dangerous around Class 1, explosives, Division 2.1, flammable gas, Class 4, flammable solids, Class 5 oxidizers, and Class 3 flammable liquids. Question 21. Transporters with cargo heaters are forbidden to transport what class of hazardous materials? A. Class 1, 2, 5. B. Class 6. C. Class 9. D. Class 1, 3, Division 2.1. The correct answer is D. Class 1.3, Division 2.1. Many hazardous materials become more dangerous when exposed to heat. Do not load Class 1 explosives. Division 2.1 flammable gas. Class 3 flammable liquids in vehicles with cargo heaters, including automatic cargo heater or air conditioner units. Question 22. What is the purpose of the hazardous materials regulations, aside from ensuring safe drivers and equipment and communicating risk? A. To reduce transportation costs. B. To contain the material. C. To promote international trade. D. To speed up delivery times. The correct answer is B. To contain the material. In addition to safety and risk communication, the hazardous materials regulations aim to ensure that hazardous materials are properly contained during transportation, minimizing the potential for leaks, spills, or accidents that could harm the environment and public safety. Question 23. What is a safe haven? A. An approved place to park unattended vehicles loaded with explosives. B. A rest area for vehicles with hazardous materials. C. An approved area to park vehicles with radioactive materials. D. A parking lot for vehicles carrying fuel. The correct answer is A. An approved place to park unattended vehicles loaded with explosives. Authorized safe havens are usually designated by local authorities and have been approved to leave vehicles unattended. If a vehicle transporting explosives does not park in a safe haven, it must be watched at all times. Question 24. The emergency response telephone number on the shipping papers are the responsibility of the blank. A. Driver. B. Shipper. C. Carrier. D. Receiver. The correct answer is B. Shipper. It is the shipper's responsibility to provide emergency response information that is accurate and consistent with the information on shipper papers and the material being transported. It is the responsibility of everyone involved in the transportation process to ensure all information is accurate. Question 25. Who bears the responsibility of verifying that the shipper has accurately named, labeled, and marked a hazardous materials shipment? A. The carrier transporting the shipment. B. The recipient of the hazardous materials. C. The manufacturer of the hazardous materials. D. The shipper sending the hazardous materials. The correct answer is A. The carrier transporting the shipment. The responsibility for ensuring that the shipper has correctly named, labeled, and marked a hazardous materials shipment falls on the carrier transporting the goods. It is the carrier's duty to review the shipping papers, labels, and marks provided by the shipper to verify the accuracy and compliance with hazardous materials regulations. This thorough inspection is crucial for maintaining safety and adhering to legal requirements during the transportation of hazardous materials. By holding the carrier accountable for this verification process, authorities can ensure that hazardous materials are handled and transported safely, and that the risk of accidents or incidents is minimized. Question 26. Is it accurate that the fundamental description of a hazardous product must invariably include the name of the hazardous material? A. True. B. False. C. Partially true. D. Sometimes true. The correct answer is A. True. Yes, it is true that the name of the hazardous material must be included in the basic description of a hazardous product. This ensures clear and accurate communication about the nature of the material and its associated risks during transportation and handling. Question 27. What does the presence of an RQ, reportable quantity, before or after the HEMS, hazardous materials table, description on the shipping papers indicate? A. The material is not considered hazardous and has no reporting requirements. B. The shipment is exempt from hazardous materials regulations. C. The quantity of the material being transported exceeds the minimum amount requiring reporting in case of a spill or release. D. The material is radioactive and requires special handling. The correct answer is C. The quantity of the material being transported exceeds the minimum amount requiring reporting in case of a spill or release. If an RQ, reportable quantity, is mentioned before or after the HEMS, Hazardous Materials Table, description on the shipping papers, it indicates that the quantity of the material being transported exceeds the minimum amount that requires reporting in the event of a spill or release. The reportable quantity is the threshold level set by regulatory agencies, and if the quantity of the hazardous material being shipped exceeds this threshold, it triggers specific reporting and emergency response requirements in case of any incidents or accidents during transportation. Question 28. Who holds the responsibility for preparing, packaging, and labeling hazardous materials, as well as completing the necessary shipping papers before transportation? A. Shipper. B. Receiver. C. Carrier. D. Driver. The correct answer is A. Shipper. The shipper is the party accountable for correctly packaging, labeling, and preparing the hazardous material shipping papers, ensuring compliance with regulations and safe transportation practices. Question 29. What is true about loading containers of nitric acid? A. May be stacked to the ceiling. B. Should be loaded in the cabin. C. May be loaded on top of other materials. D. Must be stacked no more than 2 containers high. The correct answer is D. Must be stacked no more than 2 containers high. Nitric acid is a Class 8 hazardous material. When loading on a vehicle, it should never be stacked more than 2 containers high. Question 30. Is it accurate that the intention behind hazardous materials regulations is to ensure safe drivers contain the material and hide the risk? A. True. B. False. C. Partially true. D. Sometimes true. The correct answer is B. False. No, the intent of hazardous materials regulations is not to hide the risk. The primary goals of these regulations are to ensure safe transportation by emphasizing driver safety, proper containment of hazardous materials, and transparent communication of associated risks to promote overall safety awareness. Question 31. Is it accurate that the driver is accountable for maintaining hazardous material papers in the appropriate location? A. True. B. False. C. Partially true. D. Sometimes true. The correct answer is A. True. Yes, the driver is indeed responsible for ensuring that hazardous material papers are kept in the correct and easily accessible place within the vehicle. These papers provide critical information about the hazardous materials being transported and must be readily available for inspection by authorities and emergency responders. Question 32. Classify uranium under the appropriate hazardous material class or division. A. Class 1, explosives. B. Class 7, radioactive materials. C. Class 6, toxic substances. D. Class 3, flammable liquids. The correct answer is B. Class 7, radioactive materials. Uranium belongs to Class 7, radioactive materials. Uranium is a naturally occurring radioactive element used in various applications, including nuclear fuel for power generation and in certain medical and industrial processes. Due to its radioactive properties, it falls under Class 7 in the Hazardous Materials Classification System. Question 33. What type of fire extinguisher is necessary for a placarded vehicle? A. Class A fire extinguisher. B. Class B fire extinguisher. C. Class C fire extinguisher. D. Class ABC fire extinguisher. The correct answer is D. Class ABC fire extinguisher. A placarded vehicle which carries hazardous materials must have a Class ABC fire extinguisher. A Class ABC fire extinguisher is a versatile extinguisher suitable for handling fires involving ordinary combustibles. Class A, flammable liquids and gases Class B, and electrical fires Class C. Since a placarded vehicle may transport a variety of hazardous materials with different fire risks, a Class A, B, C fire extinguisher is the most appropriate choice to tackle various types of fires effectively. Question 34. What is the minimum UL rating required for the fire extinguisher carried by the power unit of a placarded vehicle? A. 5 BC, B. 10 BC, C. 8 BC, D. 12 BC. The correct answer is B. 10 BC. A placarded vehicle's power unit is mandated to have a fire extinguisher with a minimum UL rating of 10 BC or higher to provide adequate fire suppression capability in case of emergencies. Question 35. Regarding the shipping of hazardous material products, who holds the responsibility for determining the appropriate placards to use? A. The carrier company transporting the hazardous material. B. The driver of the vehicle handling the shipment. C. The regulatory authorities overseeing hazardous material transportation. D. The shipper sending the hazardous material product. The correct answer is D. The shipper sending the hazardous material product. The shipper of the hazardous material product bears the responsibility for determining the correct placards to use during shipping. It is the shipper's duty to correctly identify and classify the hazardous material, then select and affix the appropriate placards on the transport vehicle according to the hazardous materials regulations. The chosen placards must accurately represent the type of hazardous material being transported and provide essential information to ensure safe handling and proper emergency response in case of an incident. Question 36. How would you describe the non-flammable gas placard? A. Red background with a white flame symbol and number 2 in the middle. B. White background with a green gas cylinder symbol and the word non-flammable in black letters. C. Blue background with a white gas cylinder symbol and the word non-flammable gas in black letters. D. Yellow background with a black diamond symbol and the letters NF in white. The correct answer is C. Blue background with a white gas cylinder symbol and the word non-flammable gas in black letters. The non-flammable gas placard is represented by a blue background with a white gas cylinder symbol and the words non-flammable gas in black letters. This placard is used to identify vehicles carrying non-flammable gases such as nitrogen, helium, or argon, which pose minimal fire hazards during transportation. The blue color and non-flammable gas wording help quickly distinguish these placards from other hazardous material placards. Question 37. The business or person to whom a shipment is delivered is the A. Consignee, B. Division, C. Carrier, D. Receiver. The correct answer is A. Consignee. The consignee is the person who receives materials that are being transported. This person takes ownership and is financially responsible. The consignee is the one responsible for import duties and taxes. Question 38. If the HM column of a shipping paper entry contains an X or RQ, what does it indicate? A. The shipment contains radioactive materials. B. The shipment is not regulated by hazmat regulations. C. The shipment requires special handling. D. The shipment contains perishable goods. The correct answer is C. The shipment requires special handling. When an X or RQ is marked in the HM column of a shipping paper entry, it signifies that the shipment requires special handling due to its hazardous nature, and it is regulated by hazardous materials, hazmat regulations. Question 39. What is the requirement for displaying placards on a vehicle that necessitates them? A. Only when driving on highways and interstates. B. Only when carrying hazardous materials in large quantities. C. At all times while transporting the specified hazardous materials. D. Only when requested by law enforcement during inspections. The correct answer is C. at all times while transporting the specified hazardous materials. A vehicle that requires placards must display the placards at all times while transporting the specified hazardous materials. Placards serve as essential visual warnings to inform others about the presence of hazardous materials on board the vehicle. It is crucial to maintain these placards during the entire transportation process to ensure that the public, emergency responders, and other road users are aware of the potential risks associated with the cargo. Question 40. What action should you take if hazardous materials are spilling from your vehicle? A. Park your vehicle off the road and activate hazard lights. B. Continue driving cautiously to reach a safer location. C. Slow down and proceed to the nearest service station. D. Move your vehicle away from traffic and inspect the damage. The correct answer is A. Park your vehicle off the road and activate hazard lights. If hazardous materials are spilling from your vehicle, the immediate and crucial action to take is to park your vehicle off the road, ensuring it does not obstruct traffic. Activate the hazard lights to warn other drivers of the potential danger. This safety measure is essential to prevent further accidents or incidents on the road and to protect the public and the environment from exposure to the hazardous materials. Question 41. How many classes of hazardous materials are there? A. 5. B. 9. C. 11. D. 15. The correct answer is B. 9. Hazardous materials are separated into 9 different classes. Their specific hazardous properties are defined and have distinct regular requirements for packaging, markings, and labels. The 9 different classes of hazardous materials are 1. Explosives. 2. Gases. 3. Flammable liquid and combustible liquid. 4. Flammable solid, spontaneously combustible and dangerous when wet. 5. Oxidizers. Organic peroxide. 6. Poison, toxic material. Infectious substances. 7. Radioactive. 8. Corrosives. 9. Miscellaneous hazardous materials. Question 42. If a 2-liter bottle of material is classified as a flammable liquid and also labeled as a poison inhalation hazard, how should you placard the vehicle? A. Placard with flammable liquid only. B. Placard with poison inhalation hazard only. C. Placard with both flammable liquid and poison inhalation hazard. D. Placard with hazardous material without specific labels. The correct answer is C. Placard with both flammable liquid and poison inhalation hazard. When transporting a 2-liter bottle of material that is classified as both a flammable liquid and labeled as a poison inhalation hazard, it is necessary to display both placards on the vehicle. Placarding with flammable liquid indicates the primary hazard of the material, while poison inhalation hazard provides additional information about its potential danger if inhaled. Placarding the vehicle correctly ensures that first responders and other individuals are aware of the specific hazards present during transportation. Question 43. What is not true about the person watching the loading or unloading of hazardous material? A. They must be alert. B. They must know what type of hazardous materials are being loaded. C. They must be within 15 feet of the tank. D. They must know emergency procedures. The correct answer is C. They must be within 15 feet of the tank. A qualified person watching loading or unloading of hazardous material must be within 25 feet of the tank. The watcher must be focused, alert, and know the hazards of the materials being loaded. The watcher must also know emergency procedures in the case of an incident. Question 44. When dealing with packages of explosives, what precautions should you observe? A. Wear reflective clothing. B. Use only gloved hands. C. Never use hooks or metal tools. D. Keep the packages uncovered. The correct answer is C. Never use hooks or metal tools. To prevent accidental ignition or damage, it's crucial to avoid using hooks or metal tools when handling packages of explosives. These items could cause sparks or friction that might trigger a dangerous situation. Question 45. How frequently should you stop your vehicle and inspect any dual tires when transporting hazardous materials, or which condition occurs first? A. Every 2 hours or 100 miles driven. B. Every 4 hours or 200 miles driven. C. Every 6 hours or 300 miles driven. D. Every 8 hours or 400 miles driven. The correct answer is B. Every 4 hours or 200 miles driven. When hauling hazardous materials, it is essential to conduct regular inspections to ensure the safety of the transportation. The appropriate frequency for stopping and checking dual tires is every 4 hours or every 200 miles driven, whichever comes first. This measure helps identify any potential tire issues or damages that might compromise the safe transport of hazardous materials. Question 46. What rules tell shippers how to package hazardous materials safely? A. Display rules. B. Carrier rules. C. Packaging rules. D. Containment rules. The correct answer is D. Containment rules. Containment rules are intended to protect the driver, those close to the driver, and the environment. It informs shippers how to package safely and drivers how to load, unload, and transport safely. Question 47. Is it accurate that placards must always be used to transport any quantity of material listed in Table 2? A. True. B. False. C. Partially true. D. Sometimes true. The correct answer is B. False. No, it is not true that placards must always be used to transport any amount of material listed in Table 2. Placarding requirements are based on specific criteria, including the quantity and type of hazardous material being transported, and not all materials listed in Table 2 necessarily require placarding. Question 48. What is the letter used to indicate that a shipment has been prepared in accordance with the rules? A. R. B. C. C. P. D. X. The correct answer is B. C. The letter C is used as a certification symbol on shipping papers to indicate that a shipment has been prepared in compliance with the rules and regulations governing the transportation of hazardous materials. When the shipper includes the C certification on the shipping papers, it signifies that the hazardous materials have been properly packaged, labeled, and documented in accordance with the appropriate guidelines and requirements. Question 49. What type of emergency gear can be employed to signal the presence of a halted vehicle carrying explosives? A. Fire extinguishers. B. First aid kits. C. Reflective triangles. D. Flares. The correct answer is C. Reflective triangles. To alert others of a stationary vehicle transporting explosives, reflective triangles can be used to provide clear visibility and ensure the safety of both the driver and other road users. Question 50. While parked at a truck stop, where should you position the shipping papers? A. On the dashboard near the windshield. B. In the passenger seat. C. Driver's door pouch. D. Under the vehicle's hood. The correct answer is C. Driver's door pouch. When stopped at a truck stop, you should keep the shipping papers either on the driver's seat or in the driver's door pouch. This ensures easy access for law enforcement or safety inspectors and helps you remain compliant with regulations regarding document accessibility.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you still need more practice, then check out these videos or click the first link in the description to get your cheat sheet, which will help you pass your CDL exam on your first try.